It's ESP.
Most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world.
The Eryn Spencer podcast, your home base away from mother base for the outdated references, political humdrum, social commentary, vintage and not so vintage nostalgia that you crave.
Would you rather have a lifetime of regret or an afternoon of mild disappointment?
And of course, that weeb-ish. So without further ado,
Just do it!
let's get this shoe puff luncheon.
I always forget how much I love the intro.
My boyfriend just introduced me to the Shia Labeouf musical.
What?
That was the first time I had ever seen it.
Oh my god. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm saying what, like Shia LaBeouf musical? I know the Just Do It reference, but
You
there's
haven't
a
seen the
musical.
music? Well, it's really like one song.
Okay, but still, this constitutes a musical, no?
Okay.
Oh my
so,
god.
So
I
you don't
need
know what
to-
I'm talking about?
No, I don't, but I need to look this up and learn about it because it sounds like something I desperately need in my life.
Well, good news is I'm actually prepared today.
Oh, I
if
can't
I
wait.
can actually. Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf's song, Labeouf. Okay, Shia LaBeouf, Rob Cantor. Okay, I think this is it. And are we gonna get it without any?
Feedback? Let's find out.
All right. Wow, I actually.
You're walking in the
Yeah.
woods.
Oh boy, here we go.
There's no
You're
one
gonna love
around,
this.
and
Oh
your
my god,
phone is
I love him. He's like the
out of
37
the corner
Voices
of your
guy.
eye, you spot
Oh, is he
him.
really? What's 37
He's
Voices?
following you, about 30 feet back.
It's a.
Gets down on all fours
It
and
might be a
breaks
different
into
number.
a
That's the number that popped into my head.
He's gaining
It is a
on you.
video of him doing
You're
so many
looking for
different
your car,
celebrity
but you're all
impersonations.
turned
Okay.
around.
Very, very funny.
He's
It's
almost
an
upon
original
you now, and
song
you can see
that
there's blood
he and
on
his friend
face.
wrote and performed.
My
The
God,
video is
there's
probably
blood
10 years old, but it's
everywhere.
amazing, and I just absolutely adore him. Oh no! I've heard of this. Okay, I've heard this before.
Well, I just saw it
This
for
is
the
going to be stuck
first
in my
time.
nightmares.
I know, right? Because my boyfriend was singing this the other day, and I'm like, what are you singing? Because it
I
was
think-
making me laugh.
I think Chris was singing this. My boyfriend was singing this to me because I've definitely heard the Shia LaBeouf thing.
You seem to have lost
What's
it,
really funny is
but
that
you're
both of our
hopelessly
boyfriends
lost
just started
yourself.
randomly singing
Scratch
this song to
with a
us.
murderer
That had to be where I've heard it because
silently
it's
through the underbrush.
this is amazing.
Aha.
Well, this whole thing
In
is
the
it's only like 3
a small
minutes, but this whole
cottage
thing
with
is
a light.
amazing.
Hope.
And what I like about having you on the show, welcome back by the way, is that we can just talk. This is just like a low stress talk about whatever.
It's very low key.
I love the random kid.
This is gonna be in my nightmares tonight. Can't wait.
Same.
Oh my god, look at that, beautiful.
But I mean, what a great nightmare
Look
to
at the
have.
red backlight. Oh man.
The best part though is the paper mache.
Stop! In my nightmares forever.
But what's
This
going to
is
be great
amazing.
is that we're actually going to do. I don't know if you've seen any of the recent podcasts, but we can do like picture in picture now.
Oh
So
really?
we're actually, yeah, so it's
So
going to
cool.
be the
No,
actual
it
video.
has been way too long since
Yeah.
I have been here. Yeah, I was thinking about that on the way down. It has been way too long.
Shia surprise. Okay, what is
Aerial artists are so amazing.
what is that again?
Aerial artists,
Okay.
the girls on the
I
silks,
thought
aerial
there was
silks.
like a specific name for it, but it's really cool and I love it.
I've always just heard
Aerial
it
acrobatics?
as aerialists.
Yeah.
But they're silks. They're aerial silks. They're all-
His
There was a
head
really good
topples to the
performance,
floor, expressionless. You fall to
at
your
King
knees
Richard's
and
Fair.
catch
God,
your
words are
breath.
hard.
Yes, I saw them this year.
They were
amazing.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Shia LaBeouf.
Did you go this year?
Yes, I went on opening weekend with my cousin, her husband, and their 1-year-old daughter.
Nice.
And she was so cute. We put her head in the stocks, and we put her in the giant cage, and she was trying to climb out of the cage. It was adorable. We took her to see Jacques the Whipper, and the crack of the whip scared
I love
her, and
Jacques
she
the
screamed.
Whipper.
I love Jacques the Whipper. Squeak, squeak.
He does the different types of cracks
Yeah.
of the whips. So okay, so for context, just because I feel like it's a community radio station and we should add context.
Sure.
So Jacques the Whipper and all of the jokes at King Richard's Fair for any of the kids or anybody that is kind of listening from that perspective, whoosh, right over the heads. Also.
Yes.
The entire channel, we've made a disclaimer, not intended for kids. The new YouTube changes. Have you heard about that?
I have. So I am a bad adult because I work at a high school now, and so I have a Google Classroom, and I use YouTube whenever I work with the cheerleaders. I
Right.
post a new routine. And so I went to upload like a new routine the other day so the girls and boys could watch it. And it was like, you need to put a warning, something for children, blah, 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 blah. And of course, I was like, I don't have time for this YouTube. So I just clicked okay. Hopefully, I'm not openly admitting to violating any of YouTube's policies right now.
Well, no, because I think it's the way that I understand it is 13 and younger are children. And as far as this sort of I'm combining words again. Stop me.
Were you trying to say
Federal. Figural. Federal regulations. I believe it's 13 and under is a video for children, and then 14, just to play it safe, like 14 and up is considered to be kind of teen audiences, teen plus, kind of like a shonen in an anime.
Sure.
And then 18 plus really implies like adults only, but
Right.
this is not that kind of issue. This is like that kind of 14 to
Sure.
60.
I'm
Right.
going to refrain from dropping
So-
F-bombs.
Right. Well, again,
you know,
community
but-
media, so we
so,
try to
yeah,
keep it
but I
as,
mean,
as
we
low-key
might
as
have-
possible.
We might have a joke or two that
Right.
innuendo.
Okay, yeah,
An
right.
Innuendo.
Which is what they say at King Richard's Fair anyway. So that being
Right.
said, go check out King Richard's Fair. It's over, but it's every fall from I think
Labor Day to Columbus Day.
yes. Oh, is that the official
Yes,
schedule? Labor Day to
ma'am.
Columbus Day. Okay, great, perfect. Now you know the schedule. But they have a guy that does the whips every year, and he's just a
He's
professional. I don't know
phenomenal.
what
Jacques the Whipper.
again, I don't know what the term is. I don't know what half the
He's a professional whipper.
professional whipper. Yeah.
Whippy?
So
Whippist?
the whip E, that's me. So he has a what? No. One of my favorite jokes. He's like, he also makes the innuendo, and he's like, I very much enjoy the whips. I've been doing it my whole life. I like cracking the whips, and he cracked it, and he said, "That's nice and crisp. I like my cracks to be clean." And then when he says it, he looks at the audience, and then he has the horn that he.
Yeah, anytime they say Jacques the Whipper, he squeaks.
Yes.
Or when there's innuendos. Squeak.
And then they have the mud fighting, which is really cool.
Oh, we walked away from that because they were drinking the mud.
Oh.
The well-washing wenches.
The well-washing wenches are the best. Yes.
Absolutely. They are so funny. Wet, dirty women, good, clean fun is the tagline.
Yes.
So
The funniest thing, though, and I don't know why this made my boyfriend and I both lose kind of our
collective-ish.
As we were walking out, the mud wrestlers, they had one guy sitting next to a tree. I guess the trope is that they're beggars.
Yes.
They're beggars, but they're also street performers, and that's how they make their living in the time of King Richard in the 15th century. Is that they are just kind of performers, street performers.
Right.
And one of them was leaning against a tree, and on the way out, this was his spiel. He was doing this for like an hour. Licking boots for $1.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And he was doing it. He says, "Give me $1, I will lick your boot. Take a picture, put it on a Christmas card. Nothing says Merry Christmas like a boot lick."
Oh,
and as he said
man.
that, but he was saying it like in a sales pitch way.
Yeah.
And we both just lost it
That's
on our
great.
way out.
I love it.
So,
Oh, man.
King Richard's Fair. Yeah. So tell me about some of the new projects you have going on. Well, not necessarily a project, but a new career, I think would be the right word.
Yeah.
for you?
So
Okay, awesome.
I graduated
High five, by the
in
way.
December,
congrats.
last December, so 11 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was working at a preschool for children with special needs.
Okay.
Obviously but other people don't. I got my degree in theater education and secondary ed with a minor in special ed. So I was working.
that's right.
Yeah, but the theater ed license is technically all levels. They don't divide it up the way they do for math or English, where it's like K through 5 or 8 or 5 through 12. I don't know. I don't know other licensures because I'm not licensed in those areas. Anyway,
Sounds
so I
complicated.
was working at Barnstable Public Schools preschool, which is an inclusive school designed for children with special needs. It was an amazing
Awesome.
place to be. So half
Inclusion
to
is
a
good.
third of the kids in any given classroom had some sort of disability,
Okay.
and the other kids were hand selected to be peer models, so that they could have. There's this theory called the zone of proximal development, where if you place a child with a learner that's slightly above them, they will grow and reach them.
I remember
So
that
it's
from my time at
basically,
BSU.
yeah, it's basically
the
based on
education
that whole
program.
principle. And then at the same time, the peer model students are learning from the students with a disability. So I was there for a while, and I loved it, but my degree is secondary education, so I started working at Upper Cape Tech in Bourne, where I've been assisting
Very
with the
nice.
drama club, for the last 4 years.
Awesome.
And now that I'm there, our good friend Bobby Genero, shout out, friend of the show.
Hey, Bobby. Looking forward to speaking.
He handed me the reins as the drama club advisor, so that's been amazing.
fantastic.
I'm also one of the cheerleading coaches. And I was
Wow.
and I was in a play that was all the way in Norwell. So, girl, I feel you on not sleeping much.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all can tell just from this angle of this with the camera that we have in the studio, but I am exhausted. I got up at 7 a.m. on Friday, and then my boyfriend stayed over Friday night, and then Saturday night into Sunday, I woke up at 7 again. I had my son on the weekend, and then I've just been at work.
Yeah.
Like the regular work, get up at 8
Yeah.
thing. And I do the podcast, I stream on Twitch.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
That's
do
crazy hours.
Well, I do a lot of coverage for World of Warcraft, so I'm playing that game all the time too. I've got like all kinds of
Crazy
projects.
hours. Yeah. So that's been great.
But yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a dream job.
I really love it. Upper Cape Tech is such an amazing school, and I don't know if the students even realize how lucky they are, the freshmen anyway.
Well, they have you.
That's exactly where I was going with
Dust
that.
your shoulders
No,
off.
I know. I'm like, stop, but
Got
go
that,
on.
Girl? No.
No, it's amazing. They spend 1 week in their academic classes and then 1 week in their shop. They alternate back and forth, and it's just amazing the way they balance all of this and the fact that they're going to graduate with an academic skill set and then a career skill set. But because of the way it's structured, because they're already splitting their academic time in half, unfortunately, there is no room in the school day for any arts education. So that makes the drama club all the more important because the only access these students have to art education is the after-school extracurricular clubs.
So no art whatsoever, just drama.
No.
Wow.
Well, they have an art club. They have a music club. That's new this year, I think. But they don't get a chance to do it during the school day. It's all after school. So that's why I am completely throwing myself into it. I have the rehearsal schedule from now until February laid out. I've completely created a stage manager book to whip our stage manager into shape. He's very willing to learn.
Look at you.
Oh yeah,
Super organized,
hyper organized. The show is
super
blocked.
professional.
Yep, everything. The show is blocked. I have deadlines. I have a whole production team within the kids, and I'm going way overboard as compared to last year because when I wasn't at the school, I didn't have the time.
Really impressive.
And when I was in school full time or when I was working 30 minutes away, I couldn't get there, and I didn't have the time to dedicate to it. So I think they were shocked with how crazy I went with this, but I don't know what else they were expecting.
As much as you hated BSU, I feel like this is a good reward to come out of your time. Okay, so we have this running joke where I loved BSU and you hated BSU.
Oh God. I had to back away so that I didn't sigh directly into the microphone. Oh man. Thank you, Eryn. Yeah, no, the quality of my education from Bridgewater was just fine. Thank you very much. I will give credit where credit is due. I learned a lot about theater and education there. So that is the last good thing I'll ever say about BSU.
Okay. By the way, I apologize to our audience about this table. For some reason, this table, when you hit it, it vibrates like a tuning fork.
Oh,
for
I
some
didn't
reason.
notice.
So yeah, so every time, like if people adjust the wrong way, they'll.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
I
this
also
whole-
apologize for the constant shifting and shuffling and moving of the microphone.
I mean, we're on a podcast, so
Okay, I don't
we're
know if
people
I-
who are generally sort of ADHD people
and
anyway.
weird and quirky.
Yeah.
Midsummer Night's Dream. I think I
Yes,
said that.
okay.
That was the
That was one of
play
the
that I
things we
mentioned that I
wanted
was
to talk
in.
about.
It was
Over
phenomenal.
the summer, obviously.
Well, yes,
Okay.
but no. I'm sorry. We were supposed to talk over the summer. This was in October.
Just hit the table again.
And I was Titania, so I got to fly, and that was great. But that is the reason
That's
for all
pretty
of my
awesome.
pain, because the way the harness held me, I have a possible herniated disc in my back. So
Real actor problems.
theater is pain, but flying was really cool. Except by the end, I was very sick of it.
Yeah.
It's very cool, but
I wanna
very
fly.
painful. Yes, I think everyone should get to experience it once and then be done with it and never do it again. I have just the utmost respect for the Broadway actors that do it night after night after night after night for months on end.
Like in
Yeah.
Wicked,
Yes.
the flying monkeys.
Yes.
That
Those
was intense.
Poor people.
I know, but that was cool though.
It's amazing though.
One of them flew right next to my face.
So,
When I
really?
saw it, yeah, it was like whoosh.
So that was at the Company Theater in Norwell, which is a
Okay.
beautiful
Shout out,
theater.
Company
Yes.
Theater, Norwell.
It was one of the most professional places I've ever had the good fortune to work at, and I can't recommend it highly enough. They are currently doing a Christmas Carol. 14 of the 17 shows
I
have
love A
already
Christmas
sold
Carol.
out. So don't delay if you want to see that.
Check it out.
Yeah, they're also holding auditions for Steel Magnolias soon.
Okay.
That will be in February, I think.
Nice.
So, but anyways, back to me.
Real quick, just back to you, just for promotional purposes in the future when I'm giving you shout outs, Sammie or Samantha, which one would you prefer for promotional?
It doesn't matter.
Either or?
Either
Okay.
or. Whatever comes out of your mouth is fine.
All right. I usually just call you Sammie. I'm like, Sammie will be back on the podcast. And
I
also,
do love Sammie.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It's
I like it.
adorable.
One more point of clarification, just out of curiosity for me. Actor, theater lingo, is actor still the overall umbrella term for males and females, or anyone in between? Or are we using
so
actor, actress,
I
something
refer
different
to
for something more
myself-
for someone more neutral?
I refer to myself as an actor. I do think
Okay.
it's a case by case basis.
Because someone asked that question to me the other day, and I was like, I actually don't know. if we're-
I have always felt like actor was the professional, more gender neutral term. Even though you think actor and it's male, it's sort of all encompassing. Sort of the way, there used to be stewards and stewardesses, and now there's a flight attendant. I
Which
think
makes
about
sense,
it that way.
because if we're using actor as an umbrella, that could include everyone on the gender spectrum.
Yes, so that's kind of the way I see it. Is that it's like a
Male, female, everything in
umbrella
between.
term.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the gender spectrum.
And I think it, in a way, takes away any prejudice or bias one might have when saying actress, where instead
Which
of
makes
actor. Do you know what I
sense.
mean? It's in a
Yeah,
way, it's
yeah.
like, okay, we're going with the patriarchal name, the male name, whatever.
Cross
but
off
at
a
the
sheet
same
on
ti-
your ESP
it's
bingo.
sort
We said
of-
patriarchy.
Oh, damn it! It's sort of
we said
yeah.
it. We said the thing.
how long have we been doing this? Not long. Yeah, so I don't know. In a
always
way, it's
make
sort of
joke
taking
about
it
the
back.
ESP bingo.
Yes, it's in a way it's taking it back and sort of making it equal, but it's and so I was saying this to somebody one time, and then they were like, "Well, then why is there two different categories at the Oscars, Best Actor and Best Actress?" And I said, "Well, because if we left it up to you, women wouldn't win anything."
Ooh,
So
savage.
Nice.
Nice.
But accurate. I mean,
Oh, and when I said I love gender, I actually meant that because some of my best friends are non-binary, and I've really, over the years, because I've only been transitioning since 2017, and I've learned a lot about the LGBTQIA community. I've learned a lot from the trans community, and again, some of my best friends are just in so many different spots on the gender spectrum. And at work, we have the genderbread person, which is awesome. If you haven't seen the genderbread person, I made up a word again, crossed off another line on your bingo for making up words or combining words together. But check it out, because that's like the professional way of talking about gender in a professional setting is the genderbread person. And yeah, it's just, I've met so many
is that
people.
a reference to gingerbread man or
Yeah,
person?
it's an
or-
actual gingerbread person, but it has the different spectrums of sexuality and gender.
Oh, cool.
It explores it via a gingerbread person, thus
I
the
love it.
genderbread person.
Love it.
But I've met so many of my, again, really close friends are demisexual, demigender, non-binary, gender non-conforming, gender neutral. What was the other? Gender fluid, and
Agender.
yes, and they're all so passionate about being able to just be themselves,
Yeah.
and it's just really, really cool,
Yeah.
to be honest.
It.
So when
You
I say
should
that,
be
I'm
able
not just
to.
being like, I'm not just saying a buzzword. I really mean that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's this big, I keep hearing on different YouTubers, and especially in the gaming community, about they want people to be genuine, and they feel like people are just saying things to pick up points or whatever.
Okay,
and
but how can
kind of
they?
obnoxious because I
How can you tell somebody to be genuine and then at the same time turn around and try and silence them?
It's just
You
part of
can't.
like that whole
Gaming
like
thing.
conservative, neutral. Oh, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Centrist. That like conservative, centrist sort of Gamergate crowd. And it's just I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, I was going to say
I'm
let's
a gaming
let's
channel, so
veer
let's
veer
back on top.
because I have
But I try
strong
to stay
feelings
neutral.
about
Okay.
things.
I try to stay as neutral as possible.
Fair, yes.
But I feel like it's important to be like, I feel like I'm pretty genuine about those things.
Absolutely.
And I know you are
well,
too.
especially when you have a podcast and you have people of all different identities on here. I think it's incredibly important for you to be.
Right. Well, one thing I do want to point
genuine.
out, because I love Anita Sarkeesian and I listen to Feminist Frequency Radio, but I do want to point out that I couldn't find the source material, which is partially a problem that I couldn't find it to begin with, but I'm sure I would find it in Google somewhere if I really tried. But it was reported by several different channels that Anita Sarkeesian, who, my queen, I love you, who had said that there were no women in The Mandalorian, but in the first episode of The Mandalorian, there is a female bounty hunter that looks like a badass bitch. And then there is the religious leader of the Mandalorians, the blacksmith, is a woman.
Yes. So I didn't finish episode 3, but
Right, okay.
yes. And also, Bryce Dallas Howard has a huge executive and directorial role in this. She directed episode 3, I believe. Maybe we're not getting as much female representation on screen as we want. It's not solely a male-driven project.
Right, exactly. And I think it's a brilliant project, and we're going to talk more about that later. But
Oh my God, Baby Yoda.
But if that was said, it's incorrect, and I think that it's pretty cool that the Mandalorian leader is a female.
Yeah.
She's a blacksmith. I think that's fine. And then there was that really awesome girl with the curly blonde hair and the red power armor in the bar.
Yeah.
Even though it was only like 1 second. But like the blacksmith has a recurring role, and you see her all the time. So I don't.
Yes.
Right. So if that was said by Anita, and I still love you, but if that was said, it's incorrect.
I
And
mean,
I
it
will
is
say
a.
that.
And it sucks to be incorrect, but I mean, it does speak to a bigger issue where representation on screen matters.
Right,
It
totally.
absolutely matters. One of the feminist podcasts that I listen to that I absolutely love is called The Bechdel Cast, where they
I like that.
Oh,
I
you
like
would
that a lot.
love it.
The Bechdel test.
Yes, they talk about women in film, and they use the Bechdel test as their jumping off point. But the whole thing where representation matters in terms of picking up activities that aren't typically for that gender. They mentioned it in their Hunger Games episode and the episode on Brave that just came out. I want to say that it was 7 out of 10 young girls that do archery said that Merida from Brave and Katniss from Hunger Games were a major influence in their decision to pick up archery.
Okay.
And so it's
That's
just an
pretty cool.
example of how, like, a lot of people want to say, oh, you're reading too much into it. It doesn't matter. It's just TV. But, I mean, kids
That's
are
really
consuming
fascinating.
this. People
Yeah.
consume media constantly. Representation does matter. So,
Totally.
if she was wrong, but her heart's in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, we're all wrong sometimes.
Yeah, of course.
We're all- it's
I
totally
feel
fine.
like I'm wrong
It's
several
totally
times
fine.
a day. So
Yeah. We're like everybody.
I probably have said something wrong in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, same thing with me. And we've all been wrong before, and I'm wrong all the time. Like literally all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Sometimes I'm wrong in front of my students, and that is unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
But
So
you know what's great? It is Thanksgiving break. Yes.
God, I'm so relieved.
God, I'm so happy.
Kind of, because I'm still probably gonna get up early on Thanksgiving Day.
I have
help
to
my
get up.
boyfriend's mom cook.
I have to get up early on Thanksgiving Day because I'm the cheerleading coach and we have an away game. So
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Thanksgiving football.
yeah, that's a thing in America,
Throwback.
which I love.
Oh yeah, that's right. You know,
That came out sarcastic, but I meant it genuinely.
Well, I did used to enjoy going to the football games, the Thanksgiving football games at my high school.
Yeah.
That was like because I used to go with my dad, and we used to get apple cider and coffee, do a thing. Yeah, my my relationship with my dad is not great now, but
I used to go. I probably shouldn't even say
it's a
it on
work
the
in
air.
progress.
It was a tradition for me to go so I don't.
yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
Irish coffee.
Yeah.
Real
so,
Irish coffee in the morning.
Which I obviously don't do now because, yeah.
Wow. What was the liquor that was like it was a CH, it's like a cream something.
Kahlua?
No, not Kahlua. It's like the really creamy stuff, the really sweet
Rum
stuff.
chata.
Rum chata, yeah.
Yeah, that tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Rum chata vanilla spice.
Also apple cider mimosas.
Oh,
I
that
can't
sounds pretty
wait.
good,
That is
too.
my Thanksgiving drink
Fall
of
Thanksgiving drink.
choice.
Do you like
apple
eggnog?
cider. I don't. So I like eggnog in theory. I like the taste, but I
Yeah.
don't like the texture.
You know, I've never had real eggnog, but I
I'm
like
not-
the store eggnog.
So like I got some eggnog fudge at the craft fair the other day, and it
Okay.
tasted great. And I got it for my stepbrother, but I'm probably gonna eat it all. So yeah, in theory, I like eggnog, but I don't actually
theory.
like eggnog.
So you're a texture person.
No, that's the weirdest
No,
thing.
just
I
with
am
eggnog?
not.
Okay.
I guess I'm a texture person when it comes to fluids. We should just.
That's what I was going to say.
All right,
yeah.
let's just redirect this conversation back to
Okay.
something that is not teetering.
Well, we can go back to Disney Plus, or we can go back to. Did you already talk about Midsummer?
I talked about
completely?
Midsummer a little
Okay.
bit. That was fun. It was a
About
really great
flying around
experience.
in the harness.
Yeah, I
which is
gave
really
a
cool.
huge shout out to Company Theater, and they're super successful.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't need my help. So, Upper Cape. So we just started our.
We were going somewhere.
Yeah, so we just started rehearsals for our festival show. So festival is
Okay.
part of the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild's festival. It is a statewide competition where schools enter a one-act show, 40 minutes or less. And at every host site, 3 schools move on to semifinals, and then they'll move on to the state final where they get to perform their show in Boston over a long weekend. It's a very amazing experience that I had the fortune of doing in high school, and it was something that I helped guide Bobby into with the drama club.
Okay.
And this is our 4th year.
Oh wow.
Yes, this will be our 4th year doing it. We're doing a comedy for the first time.
Okay.
We're doing The Real Inspector Hound. And
The
it's
what?
The Real Inspector Hound.
Okay.
It's a farce, murder mystery play within a play by Tom Stoppard. It is completely
the
absurd.
Play within a play.
Oh, it's so great. These 2 theater critics go to see a murder mystery, and it's just very over the top. People start dying. They get sucked into the action of the play within the play, and it's just amazing. And comedies are hard to do, and these kids' comedic instincts are just gold. We've had like 3 rehearsals, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
Well, anyone that okay, so Pirate Captain Flint Steel was one that I did a long time ago. And I'm bringing this up because anyone that follows me on
my
Instagram
God,
can
I
see my
forgot
before and
about that.
after. Because I did a before and after from a photo of me from Pirate Captain Flint Steel and like a present one, and like people got like, "Wow, that's ridiculous."
Didn't you do a before and after of Magenta and Riff Raff? Or we just did the pose at my
We
graduation
just
party?
did the pose, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But that would be another good one to do. That would be a
Yes.
really good one to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though we were in casual clothes, we should like do it in costume again.
Oh my
At
God.
some point, wouldn't that be amazing?
I will break into 3065, steal the costume.
I still have my
put
gun.
it on. I don't. You know, I should probably not
My PVC pipe gun.
publicly state that I'm going to commit a crime. So I take that back. I would like to retract that from the
And it's
transcript.
not a real gun; it's a prop gun.
It's made out of PVC pipe.
Yes, it's a prop gun, exactly like the one that they use at the end of Rocky Horror. So
Yeah.
it's- and it was spray painted silver, and I still have it. Because
I'm
that was
jealous.
that was like
I don't.
a transition anthem for me. As problematic as, and I understand that there's a
Oh,
lot of
I love
hasn't-
Rocky Horror,
Yeah.
but it is so problematic.
yeah, it hasn't. It's not one of those things where you say it hasn't aged well and have it be 100% accurate. It's still, the music is still good, the artistry and the color palette and the basic premise are still pretty good.
Oh yeah,
But some
it's
of
so
the finer
visually
points
appealing.
of the execution of how they do it are really problematic.
And the culture around it
for sure.
has become so problematic. You know, it's funny to scream
Yeah, it's a little parody.
a-hole at Brad every time he's on stage and slut shame Janet, but it's not a great thing. It's
yeah,
but
it's
the
a niche
yeah,
novelty.
It's very strange. And I mean, and they do. There's a lot of shaming of Janet more so than Brad, which is interesting. But then at the same time, it still has a lot of worth and value to people in the LGBTQ community or queer people who I use queer as like my catch-all term.
Queer is
that's how
queer
I
is like the battle cry.
Yeah, okay, that's usually how I say because I'm bi, but I'll usually say just queer, whatever.
Yeah.
But so I feel like
yes. Boom.
I got off on a tangent there, but I
You
feel
can
like
tangent
Rocky
as
Horror
much as you want. That's what we're here for.
Rocky Horror is a great or at least it used to be, because now people are more accepting. For a lot of queer people, it was probably the first time they saw something that was so bold and defied expectations. I mean, there's a song,
It's great for its time, yeah.
Sweet Transvestite, where everybody digs it. Everybody loves what Frank is. Like, nobody questions anything. It just, this is this, and we're celebrating it. So for all of the ways in which Rocky Horror is problematic, it still has great value and like a really good place in my heart and within the queer community too. So
I think what's interesting about that is that within the trans community, that's been one of the terms that has been expunged completely.
Of course. Well, yes.
And the song obviously still exists and the song will always be the same. But I think now in 2019, when we're all a little bit more sophisticated and we have a lot of this education on what it means to be trans, the umbrella of what it means to be trans, and all the different places that you can find yourself on, what we mentioned before with the gender spectrum, just transgender or trans is just kind of, what we're all using now. And it's more, it's more medical, but it's also very, very smart.
Right.
There's a lot of education behind the LGBTQIA community now, which is awesome.
Right.
We have research and education and social activism, and it's really, the whole community has really come a long way.
The whole thing with transvestite too. I mean, if you look at the roots of the words, it was literally only about clothing, like, and the way you dress,
and I mean,
as
good riddance
opposed
to that term.
Yeah, as opposed to your actual identity.
Right.
Right, that song, that word obviously is firmly in the past, which is great. But I do think that, I hear the table. At the time, it was...
Very unstable table.
It was, beyond its time in that it celebrated this nonconformity. So,
right, which was exactly what it was at the time, and what's different now is what I just mentioned with the education, the social activism, and the medical science behind it. Right. Which is awesome. I'm really glad we have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where do we even go from there? We just said something so nice.
I don't know.
And
we
so
have
positive.
to circle back and unpack.
Circle back and unpack.
My favorite saying.
Crossing off more bingo.
Yes.
Because you said that the last time you were here.
Actually,
the last time you were...
We'll go to sushi afterwards, and it'll be another bingo checker. And then, So what do you have? You don't have a bingo board? I need to...
No, but we need to make a bingo board.
I know.
That needs to be a thing that happens, for sure.
I know. High Five will obviously be on there.
Yeah, High Five, Sammie and Eryn talk about sushi.
Disney princesses. Anytime Disney princesses
I was
mentioned.
literally just going to mention The Little Mermaid, because we talked about that the last time we were
God,
here.
but no.
The Little Mermaid and feminism.
Okay, I know, but I didn't watch the live Little Mermaid.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. No, I'm talking about, like, they did the Broadway one with
the
John
Broadway
Stamos
one. Okay.
and...
No, wait a minute.
The girl who played Moana.
Okay.
Sorry, you go.
No, that's okay. We're like, your turn. You're the guest.
Sorry. Well, no, because they're making a movie, like a live action movie, like they have done with everything else, because Disney just wants to take all of my money, and it's fine.
Yes.
But they made a... you know how they've been doing like the live Broadway, like NBC, they did Hairspray, and they did Sound of Music, all that jazz. They did one with John Stamos, I think, and the girl who played Moana, whose name is escaping me.
John Stamos.
And Queen Latifah was Ursula. No, you didn't hear about this? I thought that's where we were going.
Okay, so The Little Mermaid has a live action movie that's coming out in theaters. Is this the one you're talking about?
No.
This is
That's
different.
a totally separate one. I'm talking about that with Halle Bailey as Ariel, and everyone lost their mind because a black girl is playing Ariel.
Which is awesome.
Which is great. And but no, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
It was like November 5th, I think. Hang on. Little Mermaid. Like, do you remember how they did Hairspray and Grease and
Yes.
Sound of Music and all
I remember
that.
you were very excited about Hairspray.
Yes, I
Yeah.
loved Hairspray. In my opinion, it was one of the best ones. But they did a version of The Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
I think
that
it was like
went right over
November
my head.
5th.
I completely
It was
missed
November
out on
5th,
that.
2019. Yeah.
Wow, how
It was
did I
on
miss that?
ABC. I don't know,
This
but
is
I'm
why I like
really-
having you on the show, because you can catch
Yeah.
me up with all the things I'm supposed to be watching that I'm not watching because I'm playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Or Final Fantasy XIV. For anyone that follows my Twitch, you'll know that Final Fantasy XIV is my game.
I'm going to butcher her name. The girl that played Moana, Ali Cravalho. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Moana.
Oh.
You're beautiful and you deserve better.
No.
Queen Latifah. Shaggy was
We're being
Sebastian
awful
the Crab.
white girls right now trying
Shaggy
to
was
pronounce these
Sebastian the
names.
Crab. I'm very sorry. Native Hawaiian is a very difficult language to learn.
is.
And I'm very sorry for butchering your name.
Same.
But yeah, see, it was The Little Mermaid Live. Yeah, John Stamos was the evil chef.
Oh my God.
Shaggy was Sebastian the Crab. All right, homework assignment. Everyone go home and watch it. And Eryn and I will watch it as well.
Okay.
But where were you initially going with The Little Mermaid? Were you going for the live action remake in theaters next year?
No, the whole point of me just interrupting
Oh.
you furiously there for several seconds was just to mention that the last time we were here that we talked about The Little Mermaid. I had nothing special to say, per usual.
Oh,
It's just a lot of hot air that comes out of my mouth usually for the most part.
perfect.
My guests are the interesting ones.
Oh, that's not true. You're very interesting.
I talk. I'm good at talking. I'm good at keeping the conversation
Oh.
going, but
You know what we could talk about? And it would have been more relevant when I was supposed to come here this summer. We live in Cairo.
I
my
totally forgot about that.
God.
We had
We
the
were-
Lost Summer episode.
Yes. Let's get in the time machine and
keep Pulling
I should move my keys.
in
Go
case
back.
they come flying at me. So this summer we went to the conservatory, I believe.
ART, the American Repertory Theater
Okay, totally
in
off.
Cambridge.
Totally off.
And we saw We Live in Cairo, which
Mm-hmm.
is a new original musical that was based on the Arab uprising, the Egyptian
The Arab
Revolution.
Spring, yeah.
It was a part of Arab Spring, yes. So the Egyptian Revolution that took place a few years ago, that was a part of the entire Arab Spring movement, but it was specific to Cairo, as the title suggests, and it focused heavily on the use of art and as a form of expression, but the story was very, very educational in how social media played a huge part in these uprisings. It was incredible. I actually just got goosebumps thinking about it.
I keep hitting this with my.
You're
I keep
fired.
hitting the microphone.
So, yeah, I followed like all of those people on Instagram and
I know. You'll have
Twitter
to let
and
me know
everything.
what their Instagrams are.
Yeah. So
I mean, it was a wonderful show. There was what Sammie was talking about was they were telling the story through a combination of both utilizing social media to plan these protests, these anti-Egyptian government protests from these grassroots organizations, and then in the meantime, how they were promoting their message of resistance was through spray painting. They were spray painting the walls that the military and the police had put up, and these two things combined made this really beautiful story that kind of brought all the moving parts together.
And then we're also forgetting there was one person who was a musician and had a guitar, and he expressed himself through his guitar. And
That was the most well-spoken I've ever been on the show, by the way,
that
for
was
the
beautiful.
entire duration of the show.
I stopped and listened, and I learned from what you said, even though I experienced it with
I just
you.
surprised myself.
Yeah. So, no, and it was so amazing. And unfortunately, it closed, and I don't think it's going to, as far as I know, there's no talk of a tour or anything like that. I was really hoping that it would be the next Waitress or Jagged Little Pill or something,
have
because
been.
I was so blown away. I mean,
wanted the
plot,
soundtrack.
yeah, the plot did have its flaws. I'll give you that. But
was
well,
telling a
you and I,
historical
you and I
story, so,
discussed that. Well, I just thought one character's death, I felt like it was glossed over. I wanted more from the story there, but I need a copy of the soundtrack. So if anybody
Yes.
listening somehow has a
Please.
soundtrack of We Live in Cairo, good Lord, send it to
Contact
me.
us.
I will pay lots of money for it.
contact us and we'll give you
Yeah.
a personal
Oh my
shout out on the
gosh.
next
And then
episode.
when Eryn and I were coming out of the bathroom, we saw two of the women who were in the show and we stopped and we were talking with them. And then I
They were
realized,
really cool
I realized because of the way we were standing on the stairs that Eryn and I were
We were
physically
blocking
trapping them and forcing them to talk to us for probably a good 2 to 3 minutes before I realized that like I was physically blocking their escape route and
Yeah.
realized that I looked like a complete psycho fan and just awkwardly sort of stepped aside. And,
We were those girls.
yeah. But it's I bought a journal there and it had the basically tagline of the show embroidered
That
on
was
it.
a really nice
Oh my gosh.
piece of
And I think about
merchandise.
it all the time. And I haven't written anything in the journal except fill this with good ideas because I haven't had any ideas that I feel like are worthy enough after seeing the show. But the central theme of the play is how an idea can be spread. So they had us all learn a call and response song in the beginning.
Yeah.
And it said, I was one person who had an idea and made it words.
And someone
heard. Someone heard.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, goosebumps again.
Yeah, well, now I've got that song stuck in my head,
Yeah, I know. I've been singing it for 5 months. So
which is actually a good thing because, oh, and when I say merchandise, it's actually, I will 100% unironically support any merch that you can get at a local theater production
yeah.
because that goes directly back to the theater, and in some cases, depending on where it's at, will go right to the actors themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of merch I will promote.
Yeah,
If you want-
it was
Buy
amazing.
away, spend money there. Yeah,
For sure.
money well spent.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we only got like
that's
3
that.
minutes left.
I
That was it.
know. Oh my goodness.
Wow, we just totally talked for the entire time
I know.
without even skipping a beat.
Good
which is
for
good.
us.
Yeah.
I was also in Chicago. Did I tell you that? I was in a
No.
version of Chicago.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's
This
a while
was-
ago,
we-
right?
It has been that long. I do
It's been-
not think I have been on this podcast in a year.
We talked about Chicago the last time you were here.
Okay, so then it
think.
was right before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was.
Or did we talk about Chicago at the wine and dessert night?
I think you had. Okay, when did you do Chicago?
April.
April. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my God.
Maybe we didn't talk about it.
We
Yeah,
talked about it at wine and dessert night for sure.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That was fun. We should do that again.
Yeah, we
It's
should do
coming
that
up.
again.
That like April was a perfect time for it.
Yeah.
But
So
I've never been so full
I know.
from sweets in my entire life.
I know.
That was a weird feeling. I had such
It
a
was
hangover.
amazing. Full disclosure, I was eating cookie dough with a spoon
I just kicked the
in
table
the
full
parking lot
force.
this afternoon as I waited for the buses to pull out so that I could leave, and I was
That's
again eating cookie dough with a spoon out of a tub
Eat as much cookie
in
dough
the
as you
parking
want.
lot of BCC while I waited for you.
That's totally fine.
So
No shame.
I figure that sushi is relatively healthy, so
Oh,
it
totally.
makes up for the cookie dough. Oh man, yeah. So that's that.
Awesome. Do you have any final thoughts about anything that we've talked about? I think we actually legitimately covered 100 different topics that
Mm-hmm.
we both wanted to talk about. So
One of these days, you and I are gonna have like an outline. I always have an outline in my head or in my phone,
Yeah,
and
well,
then I
this actually
completely
went
abandon it.
really well for not
Yeah, we
having
didn't
an
have any
outline
dead
because
air.
we covered anything anyway.
I know.
Aside from
yeah.
that one time where like I was trying to, we were talking over each other.
That's fine.
That
It
happens.
happens.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Yep.
So I guess
This is why we're a good fit
yeah.
for the show.
I guess just I want to end it by being super cheesy because Thursday's Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for, Eryn?
I am thankful for actually having a mom that's really supportive of me because it's really hard for people to find family members, people who are transgender, to find family members that love them and support them and appreciate them unconditionally and that actively support everything that they do as far regarding their transition, whether it's very minor or whether it's just a matter of simple expression. Parents who support their children or just supporting your children in general is the most important thing that any parent can do for their child, and it goes a long way. And of course, for my amazing friends,
Aw,
love you, Sammie,
I love you
for
too.
my amazing friends, and for my boyfriend who has been just an awesome guy, and I think your boyfriend's really good to you too. So we got lucky with our. But that's like the cheesy part that I'm throwing in there. Just a little special shout out for him. But no, but seriously, parents of LGBTQ youth in general, family who support LGBTQ youth, friends, BFFs, best friends,
Teachers.
yes, who support you. And also, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to actually be on this podcast with you.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thankful to have a friend like you that does stuff like this,
Sammie.
that listens to me talk, that will do anything with me. It's funny that you were thankful for your mom, because I am also thankful for my mom, and
Gina's awesome.
she is, and it's sometimes it's funny to say that out loud, because my mother and I fight like cats and dogs, but
Sometimes I do with my mom too.
I am so thankful for my mother. Yeah. I think that, I mean, and the rest of my family, oh my God, my dad and my stepmom are great too, but it's just, you said your mom, and that was what I was going to say as well. And on a lighter note, I'm very thankful for physical therapy because my back is killing me. Oh, I'm 29 years old and I'm dying.
CBD oil, that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
CBD oil.
Check out Wicked Healthy in Kingston.
Yeah, a lot of my clients talk about CBD oil too.
Yeah, for all of your CBD and
them.
health food needs, go to Wicked Healthy on Summer Street in Kingston. Nice. There's my shout out.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask people to follow me on anything anymore because I work in public schools now. So there you go.
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
This will come out after Thanksgiving, so when you watch this, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And I hope you have a good few weeks leading up to Christmas. Be safe. I hope you were safe on Black Friday.
Don't trample anybody.
And for next year, be safe again next year on next year's Black Friday. But I hope everyone made it out of the holiday week okay. And for us here right now live, for anyone that happens to be listening on the website, I hope you have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Be safe out there.
Yeah, be safe. Eat pie. Be happy.
Oh my God, pie. I can't wait for pecan pie.
And apple cider mimosas.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Yes.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Mwah. Y'all are awesome. We will see you on the next episode of ESP. Bye.
Bye.